Good evening, everybody, and welcome back to Final Fantasy XIV. Last night, we did another dungeon and completed the first trial of the X-Pack, and now we're going to press on to the next area. So, let's get going. All right, we are live. I don't think Vorlopper and his brethren will have a sudden change of heart about Tuliolal, but that doesn't mean they'll never change at all. Today is proof of that. I think it's time we return to Tuliolal. After scaling Tiral's tallest mountain and battling a legendary beast to death, even dauntless heroes like you could probably use a rest. In any case, there are preparations to be made before we can visit the next destination laid out in the saga. The respite would be most welcome. I believe I hear the forward cabins calling our names. I feel like there was some cut dialogue or something there because...
Oh, it was a really long pause.
Yeah.
Do you see the two blue markers now?
Yep. Yep. Aether current quests. Do we want to do these?
Sure.
I have heard tell of your victory over Valigarmonda. You protected our land, and for that I, Merfurler, express my deepest gratitude. I wish only that I could have seen the battle with my own eyes. As a warrior of the Yaqui, I cannot fathom how one of your diminutive stature laid low the fearsome Sky Ruin. Thus do I ask if you would demonstrate your martial prowess. I mean, I did. I defeated the giant dragon, but okay. I thank you for this honor. Of late, hulking monsters have been sighted south of the Shades of Grief, endangering all who would travel along the road. I bid you snuff out this threat, that I might see for myself how you subdue your foes. I shall go there now. Join me when you are prepared. Hail, visitor. Care to partake in one of our customary rituals? Fret not, for your part to be played is a simple one. You see, the illuminations here in Warlord's Echo make use of glowstones, a rare and precious mineral found only through mining. On occasion, we offer up prayers in the hopes that their light remains strong and bright. First, I would ask that you raise a hand to the saltwater jar and pray for light everlasting. Strange though it may seem, I assure you, it is a necessary step in our ritual. Now, great warrior, slayer of Valigarmonda, open your heart and focus. It appears your feelings were heard loud and clear. Let us proceed to the next step. Now that the salt water has received of your prayers, you need merely sprinkle it upon the glowstones scattered around the village, and the ritual will be complete. I feel like I'm being pranked.
Yeah.
Did you grab one or more?
Hmm?
Well, you have to. If you talk to the stone again, you get 3. Or interact with the stone again, you get 3.
Oh, I said, did you grab more than one of them? I noticed I thought I was being punked as well. So I tried to grab it again and it said 2. And then I'm like, okay. Where, okay. Or does it work on all of them?
When I clicked on it once and I got 3 bottles of salt water.
Okay.
So
Yeah.
I see you have successfully completed the ritual, and for that, you have my thanks. Likewise, my fellow Yaqui will be glad to know that an outsider has shared in our culture. When mining the peak for glowstones, we occasionally discover shellfish fossils. Some have wondered if perhaps this tall mountain was once submerged beneath the waves many long lifetimes ago. Gratsora. The stone's radiance is a reflection of their story, of their joy, shining all the brighter when offered water that smells of the sea. Or so the story goes. Thus was our little tradition born. Knowing that it is the will of a great warrior that now illuminates our humble village, our spirits are sure to lighten as well. Suffice it to say, we are fortunate indeed that you were willing to join in our prayer with an open heart. May the light of the glowstones ever guide your steps. Glad I am to see you did not lose your way. As for this one, it made the mistake of picking a fight with me. There was another, but unlike its comrade, it had the good sense to flee. Not far, however. It stalks us from the shadows, yet thirsting for blood. These beasts are formidable indeed, possessed of strength equal to their keen senses. I would have you hunt down the one that remains. Follow its tracks to the southwest. Doubtless it will reveal itself to what it will see as a smaller, less challenging foe.
Big attack.
Did everybody get credit for it?
I did.
sometimes it's weird, like.
Oh, I know.
look good.
Yeah.
Impressive. Not once did you falter before the towering Hulapin. Quick to react and adapt you were indeed. Yes, I have seen all I needed to see. Now that the threat is no more, let us return to Warlar's Echo.
It's just funny. That was like nothing compared to.
Mm-hmm. Maybe he's just lazy and didn't want to hunt him down himself. I am going the wrong direction. This has been an enlightening experience for me. Not often am I granted the chance to witness a warrior whose skill far surpasses my own. For years, I served as guardian of Cariolzar the Gracious, watching over the seal placed upon Vallegramanda. I would have aided in the feat of ice, too, had the Sky Ruin not rendered our plan meaningless. You see, it is the duty of the Temple Guardians to drive off the dangerous creatures drawn to Vallegramanda's energies. At times, it was all we could do to shield the frozen Vidral from swarms upon swarms of beasts. But now that Vallegramanda has been laid low, we Guardians have nothing left to guard. Of course, this is cause for celebration. Urkopacha, nay, all of Tyrol, need no longer fear the Sky Ruin's destruction. And yet, a part of me felt otherwise. Deprived of purpose, I relinquished my position. I went with option 1. Because we killed Vallegramanda? Oh, I did not mean to suggest I blame you for my woes. Were it not for you, I would surely not be standing here to bemoan my plight. At any rate, I thought seeing you in action might move me to seek my next passion, or at the very least provide inspiration for a new combat technique. But given your somewhat delicate frame, I remained skeptical until I observed your power firsthand. I would also be remiss not to praise your economy of movement. Always thinking ahead, always for the shortest route to victory. That's why I ride right off cliffs, buddy. What calling has led you to develop such commendable skills? Ah, so you're an adventurer. Does that mean your life's purpose is the pursuit of adventure? How intriguing. Alas, much as I would love to hear your many tales, I will not keep you. When next you have the moment, however, it would be an honor to speak with you at length.
Not yet.
Hmm?
KJ was seeing if we could fly.
Oh no, we're nowhere near done. There are at least 2 more Aether Current quests here. And then there's still a bunch scattered around, although I guess KJ might have gotten all those while he was doing mining or something.
Oh, that's true.
I found 2 out there. Out in this area, I found 2 mining. Don't ask me where that was at, because I can't remember.
Now, looking at the Urkopacha list, for me at least, there are 2 more quest ones and 7 more just scattered around.
Where do you look for that list?
Just click on the travel button and then click Aether Currents.
Oh,
The gold ones are quests, the green ones are the ones we find scattered around.
where are we at again?
Urkopacha.
Oh shit, I'm looking on page 1. That's on page 5 or something, right?
Yes, it is on page 5.
Okay. You said gold ones are quests, and
Yep.
then the green are
Yep, the ones that are just around.
where I got 4 of the green and then 2 more quests as well.
Also, I see a lookout point.
Yep, I saw that too.
Oh, thank goodness, a capable-looking traveler. Please, I need your help. My caravan was attacked by beasts. I had a bodyguard, a young mumble-jaw mercenary, but he could barely fend for himself, let alone me. He somehow managed to throw me over his shoulder and carry me all the way here, but no sooner did my feet touch the ground than he ran back into the jaws of death, damned if I can figure out why. Injured as he was, I don't like his chances. Please, I beg of you, go to Chappaquiddick and save him.
Go to that place that I'm talking about.
Mm-hmm. Hey, I recognize you. I've heard about you, companion to the Third Promise, a most dependable individual. The name's Nopley, and I'll have you know I'm a merchant blessed by fortune, if I do say so myself. Indeed, I believe our meeting today is no chance encounter, but the hands of fate guiding us for a singular purpose, the exchange of invaluable items at unbelievable price. If I can direct you to your attention over here for just a moment. Feast your eyes on these, crates of exceedingly rare and precious corrupted crystals. Beautiful, aren't they? They were extracted from remote regions of Eorzea and shine a brilliant orange hue. Quite unlike your run-of-the-mill crystals, no? For you, I'm willing to offer them for the low, low price of 1 pel, in the millions column. It's nigh highway robbery at this valuation, but anything for a friend of the Third Promise. They're not worth even a fraction of that price. What do you mean? Considering how much it set me back to purchase them, the price I'm offering should be perfectly reasonable. Strange. These are precious crystals, are they not? Well, seeing as how I could push a button and be back in Eorzea right now, no. Just to be certain, these crystals are considered priceless treasures in Eorzea, right? You done been scammed, buddy. Let me see if I'm getting this right. Not only are corrupted crystals commonplace across the Salt, but they're also highly volatile. In the past, you once used such crystals together with an elemental converter to do battle with powerful entities you call primals. What's more, you kept them in a warded container at all times to protect against their deleterious effects. All of which is to say, no practical use for such crystals has been discovered, meaning no one with sense would ever bother to mine them. The peddler who sold the crystals to me was never mentioned a word of this. He claimed they're extremely rare in Eorzea, which is why I decided to purchase them in the first place, even at an exorbitant price he offered. Naturally, I believed him, having never seen crystals of the like. Could you blame me? But if they really have no use. Have I, nobly the lucky, been swindled? Well, at the very least, I was able to learn about the crystal's true nature before selling them to some poor soul. Fortune hasn't abandoned me completely yet. At any rate, I'd like to verify whether these crystals truly hold no value. Would you be willing to help me look into this? I need someone I could trust, and that you'd be willing to share the truth with me says a lot. No need to answer right away, but give it some thought. If you've no interest, you're free to be on your way. If you decide to assist me, however, I'll be here waiting. Oh, is this one of those quests where we just do the talk and it's done? I guess. You're willing to help then? Wonderful. You're truly a kind-hearted soul. Now, before I go and confront the merchant who sold me these crystals, I'd like to look into the potential uses for them in Tyrol. For instance, crystals are in high demand among Tyrali mages, who make extensive use of them in their rituals. And I just so happen to know a spellcaster among the distillery guard. I'd like you to speak with him about the corrupted crystals and gauge their interest in purchasing them. In the meantime, I will see about procuring a container to ward off the crystal's harmful effects. Per your explanation, preparing an elemental converter with my skills is likely impossible, but finding the requisite materials for a warding vessel should be well within my abilities. The mage you're looking for is an individual of the Bonewa tribe. If you happen upon some wielding a staff, chances are you found them. Okay, so no, this is not just a do the talk and finish the quest. Hello, bot. Goodbye, bot. I can tell you this isn't the guy we're looking for. But it's the only one with a marker over his head. Huh? I don't know the first thing about crystals. I'm not an artisan nor a mage. There we go. Here's the guy over here. Intriguing. I've never heard of these corrupted crystals. As a practitioner of the arcane arts, I'll not deny they piqued my curiosity. But I'm afraid I have no interest in purchasing them. If they're as volatile as you say, there is little to be done with crystals whose very nature can change on a whim. Also, I find it funny that we picked up the quest to go and desperately save this man, and we're running around talking about crystals instead.
Mm-hmm.
So even the mage was not interested. Nevertheless, I thank you for speaking with him on my behalf. Seems you were right, these crystals really are worthless. I may be unable to make back what I've lost, but there's still one thing I can do. I wish to stop the pernicious peddler from continuing his crooked ways. Will you help me? What a relief. Allow me to offer you a small token of my thanks. When you have a moment to spare, please come see me again. We must stop him before he has a chance to swindle anyone else.
never.
Basically, yes. I could hardly believe my eyes. You felled those bloodthirsty beasts with such ease. But I'm getting ahead of myself. Thank you for saving me. As a mercenary for hire, I'm ashamed such help wasn't even necessary. So the merchant sent you, did she? The attack on the caravan saw her wares scattered all over. I figured the least I could do was retrieve as much as I could. Thanks for your timely rescue. I can still do just that. No need for you to stay with me, friend. Go and let her know that I'm safe. I'll grab what I can and be along shortly. Oh, I'm so relieved to hear he's safe. The Mamoja take considerable pride in their trade as mercenaries, but that young man seems to have a particularly acute sense of responsibility. I've heard tell that some Mamoja travel across the salt to make a name for themselves. As a preliminary step to that, it seems many young hopefuls gather experience here in Tyrol as mercenaries and bodyguards to sharpen their skills. That said, earnest as he is, the young man failed to protect my caravan. We will have to discuss some form of compensation for my losses. I'm not heartless, however. He saved my life and risked his own to reclaim my wares. There's much to consider. For now, however, treating his wounds must come first. That's all the quest ether currents. From there, you just gotta find the rest. Which I figure that can be done off stream. Rest well, everyone. We can meet back here later on. I have a small errand to run in the city, so I'll leave you to recover. Will you be heading to the palace, Wuklamat? Wuklamat, did you hear me? Lost in her own little world, it seems. Well, no matter. I'll be back soon enough. An attendant is standing by to unlock your cabin. Enjoy your stay. No, he's not just going to let us in our room. We gotta walk down here. At least ours is the first one.
Interesting.
Welcome back. Your cabin is just as you left it, minus a light layer of dust. I was almost expecting to have been ransacked or something.
Mm-hmm.
You have a moment? There's something I wanted to talk to you about. So,
Come on, spit it out, cat girl.
It's just too stuffy in here, that's what. We should go outside. Aye, a nice walk in the fresh air, that's what we need.
Too stuffy. In my inn room that doesn't have one of the walls. Open to the sea breeze at all times.
That was funny.
Yeah, Wuklamat. I know the whole thing of wanting somebody to go outside by saying it's stuffy in there makes perfect sense, except when you're in a room that only has 3 walls.
Yeah.
Sorry to drag you away from your nice, comfortable cabin, but I could feel the walls closing in. Oh, I know. I'll take you to one of my favorite places in Tulialal. That should help me get my thoughts in order. We'll go to the Resplendent Quarter and make our way up from there. We could just go get tacos. I know you want some tacos.
Learning from the past, maybe. She's like, we're not gonna try that again.
Eh. Of course, I've been wondering where Estidian has been gotten off to, and I saw this Lancer Dragoon standing here and thought it was Estidian.
Well, that's funny.
I've actually kind of been expecting just to see Estidian in the background doing his own thing on occasion. You know, kind of like the Stalker in the Hildebrand stuff.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Okay, I like the mammal jaw and the baby mammal jaw in the background.
It's cute.
Yeah, that's cute.
Peshawar, what are you doing up and about? Your back feeling better? It's much healed now, so don't make a fuss. Besides, I can't be lounging in bed all day when you're out there fighting your hardest to win the throne. You're the claimant with the greatest love for peace. I love this nation of ours, and lending you my support is the least I can do. When I see you smile like that, how can I not be encouraged? And now it's throwing the baby mammal jaw up in the air. Oh, there's plenty more who believe in your cause. I can recruit a whole battalion of smiling faces if you think it'd help. Yours alone is more than enough. Thank you, Peshua. And thank you, Third Promise. I shall pray for your success in the contest. All those smiling faces. Sorry, I'm getting distracted. Just that with the progress we've made in the contest, even these everyday encounters feel that much more special. Do you think we can take our time and maybe wander around a little first? Then we can head to the spot I was thinking of. I mean, I'm technically on vacation right now, Luke Lamont. You're the one making the schedule, so.
This is much better. I used to come here all the time when I was little. I'd look out over the whole city, and whatever worries I had would seem so small. Do you remember what I said at the top of Orkor Zormor? That I would fight to preserve Papa's peaceful... Well, I've been thinking a lot since then. About what peace really means. If it's just the absence of war. And it brought to mind all the best parts of our journey so... I realized nothing gives me greater joy than the happiness of others. Life has its ups and downs, but the company of family and friends and the music of their laughter is what makes it worth living. And as silly as it might sound, I've come to believe that those smiling faces are the best measure of peace. Really, I feel proud somehow. It's an answer I arrived at by trying to be true to myself. That you think I succeeded, it means a lot. So, this is my plan. When I become Dawn Servant, I'll build on Papa's peace. Our people will live together in happiness. It's just like Kryl said. By taking the time to hear their concerns, understand their feelings, and consider how best to serve, with each passing day, I'll be that much closer to becoming the leader I want to be. It's hard for me to say how much I've changed since the contest began. But there's one thing I can say with confidence. I wouldn't have come this far without you as allies. If it wasn't for you all listening and feeling and thinking along with me, I would have never learned so much, and in so short a time. There are 2 keystones left. After everything that's happened, and imagining what could happen, are you still willing to walk this path with me? Thank the gods for that. Well, I've nothing else to get off my chest. I need to head to the palace, but I'll see you back at the cabin.
Welcome back. I will say, I like these inn rooms, but that bed did not look comfortable.
No.
Like a burlap sack for a pillow, and the bed was just a slab of wood with some straw on it. You look to be in good spirits. I assume your leisure time was well spent. I was glad to snatch some quality sleep myself. After all, it will soon be back to the road for us. I'm sure the others will be along shortly. I do hope everyone has rested well. Now that we've refreshed ourselves somewhat, let us consider all claimants as they currently stand. Zorlja and Kuona have completed every feat thus far and hold 5 keystones apiece. Wuklamat would be equal with them but for Bakul Jaja's thievery, which leaves us one short. That conniving braggart didn't so much as lift a finger for the feat of proof and wreaked havoc for the feat of ice. He can't have more than 3 keystones at most. He may think he can simply steal what he needs to win, but he's sorely mistaken. I will be taking back what is mine. This I swear. I fear that reclaiming your keystone may not be enough. That is, if Bakul Jaja's unleashing of Valagarmanda is any indication, using his lead, I anticipate that he will move to obtain the remaining keystones before disrupting his rival's attempts. We may all find ourselves being forced to take from one another. Can't say I'd be comfortable with that. But neither will I surrender my claim to the throne so easily. If it's for the sake of preserving the happiness of my people, I'll do what I must. The last 2 keystones we require are those of the Lay of Repast and the Lay of the Brotherhood. The former depicts the cessation of hostilities between the Mamul-Ja and the Zabral in the forests of Yaktel, specifically near a village called Ikbarax. That's where I was born, if you recall. I haven't been back there since Papa took me in when I was a baby. Where the Lay of the Brotherhood takes place, however, is unclear. In the saga, it is said that a foreign explorer came seeking an audience with the Dawn Servant, but little more than that. Eorzea has a similar tale. The story of Keterum befriended a 2-headed king known as the Autarch before commencing his travels across Chiral. He journeyed here several times afterwards, but was ultimately lost at sea. At least, that is the commonly held belief. Your 2-headed king certainly sounds like Papa. So this Keterum fellow must have come to Tulial. Well, we know he did. His name was on the sepulcher. But if he indeed arrived some 80 years ago, the capital may not have been built yet, vestiges of Yahweh architecture notwithstanding. Wait, you said Autarch, didn't you? Then Ketenrum must have met the Dawn Servant in Mamuk. Mamuk? Is that a city? One of the grandest in Chiral, once upon a time, and the seat of the Mamul-Ja's homeland. It too lies in Yaktel, not far from Ikbarax. Then all things considered, Yaktel seems the obvious choice for our next destination. From here, the safest method of travel is by dirigible. We should make for the landing once our preparations are complete. We're riding in one of Kuana's balloons? They can't be any worse than ships, can they? The very pained smile on my face.
Oh, as long as they don't go down.
I'm going to suggest that she just lay down in the middle of the deck, stare straight up, and think of nothing.
Breathe deeply.
Clamont says, It'll be fine. Just fine. I didn't even bother reading what he said. Are we sure that thing will stay in the air all the way to Yachtel?
The guy said the balloon's going to be leaving shortly. Make sure you keep all your hands and luggage and feet inside the balloon.
Gotcha.
Kind of like getting on a ride roller coaster.
Are you ready? The bag's packed and goodbye said? There's no going back once we lift off. Not that I'm nervous or anything. I'm just making sure that you're not nervous. I float on a spaceship, Clamont. I'm good. Who am I kidding? My knees won't stop shaking. Will you hold my hand? Just until I've settled my nerves? Fine. Sure. Okay. You're the nicest person I've ever met. I'll try not to crush your hand. That's okay. It's encased in metal. It should be fine. There she is. Third promise. Wait just a moment. Mablu and Tobli. Of course, of course. I'll wait as long as you need. Sorry to delay you, but we were able to discover the origin of Kryle's earring. That's so. You said before that it gained popularity in Yachtal as a protective ward for travelers, correct? That's right. We tracked down the elderly merchant to whom first sales are attributed. According to him, the design imitates an accessory worn by a foreign mage he met at market some 20 years ago. Little did he know that charming taste of salt would prove to be a commercial triumph. A foreign mage wearing this earring could only be my grandfather. Did the merchant happen to mention which market? One in Yachtel, where it seems you are already bound. What luck! Then I shall seek my next clue once we arrive. Mere coincidence that brought my grandfather there? Yet another discovery to look forward to. Thank you both for coming all this way. Anything for the third promise. Good luck with the rest of the rite. Thanks. I won't let you down. I've just got to board this dirigible and I'm as good as there. Last call for passengers to Yachtel. Really hope she wins. Yachtel will test her mettle, without a doubt. The next Dawn Servant must be willing to bear the full weight of this nation's history, no matter how heavy it may be.
The fierce Chapral hunters who laid claim to this land call it the Azure Forest, Yaktel. Battered by meteors in ancient times and colored mesmerizing shades of blue and green by nature, it is easy to understand why the place is so named. It is here, where the Chapral and Mamulja once battled for dominance, that the right of succession would reach its climax.
Are you all right?
I've never been good with heights.
The vegetation is far denser than in Kozumautka.
I suggest you pay more attention to the ground, unless you want to walk straight into a cenote.
A cenote?
Sinkholes filled with rain and groundwater. Many meteors fell here long ago, it is said, and after they struck the earth, it became susceptible to erosion. Deep as some of the pits are, you'll not climb out in a hurry should you take a tumble. So, don't take a tumble.
It was one time.
Is the Chapral community depicted in the Lay of Repast close by?
Aye. We need but follow the path a short way west.
Right. I can't stand here with my knees knocking forever. Let's get going.
With thicker vegetation comes reduced visibility. I advise you to keep someone inside at all times. Sugar gliders.
Yep. Oh, Aether curtain. Current. Sorry.
Wuklamat says, "See? No tumbles. Thanks to Kryl and Alize, but it still counts."
That's because Alice was telling us me and Kryl are going to look after Wuklama
Yep.
on our way up there.
Good. Everyone's accounted for. Ikbrox is up ahead. Let's be on our way.
Every time we talk to him, it takes forever, almost, before I can get control of myself again.
I didn't really notice that time.
Now this time he started walking away. I'm like, let me go.
Alize says, "Just so you know, I shall be very cross if you push me." Erenville was not exaggerating about the cenotes. It would be a grueling ordeal to climb out of one. Well, thankfully we made it here without incident. Let's not dally any longer. Rats Emo.
Thank you. Congrats, KJ.
Indeed, grats. A little more setting appropriate.
Oh, it's cool looking. I like it.
Ready to head in? Our first task should be finding the Elector. Hopefully our relative tardiness will not reflect poorly upon us. The third promise in her retinue, I presume? You presume right. I seek the Dawn Servant's Elector. Then come and join us at the Garden of the Stars. At the village center. Everyone is waiting for you. Everyone? And who might that be? There's but one way to find out. Come, let us follow him. I have theories, but I don't know if they're any good. We shall see.
At last, we are graced by the presence of the third promise.
If I'd known we'd be waiting on your mangy hide, I wouldn't have bothered with a Ligarmanda in the first place.
You self-serving piece of weaver dung! Do you have any idea how many could have been hurt?
Now that we are assembled, let us begin. My name is Hunmuruk. As a Brash Rash, I have the honor of serving as Elector on behalf of my people. As all 4 claimants must be present for this feat, we have eagerly awaited your arrival. Third promise. If you would please join us. Thus far, you have faced each other as rivals. The feat of repast, however, will test your cooperation. You must complete this challenge in teams of 2.
What? You expect us to work with one of these weaklings?
Be warned. Only the triumphant team will receive keystones. I advise you to cooperate with your partner. Teams will be decided by lots. Those who draw the same color will be paired accordingly.
Twelve forbid Wuklamat is paired with Bakul Jaja. After all he's put her through, I wouldn't blame her if she did something rash. I might even help.
Claimants, please present your colors. I have red. Blue. On separate teams, then.
Red.
Together again, as fate would have it.
Victory.
With our claimants thus paired, so too is their opposition.
Not the one-head.
Listen well, for the trial that awaits you is as follows. Each team is to prepare a sample of traditional Shebrol cuisine. Shibruk Bibil.
And now we must cook. Another ludicrous feat.
So it might seem, but there's bound to be deeper meaning to it.
Agreed. Given that the very future of our nation is at stake, all parts of this rite must have significance.
Our promises have grown rather promising, wouldn't you say?
Indeed. If I were to guess at the significance of the feat, few things reflect the history and development of a culture so clearly as its culinary traditions.
The variety of stewed dishes in Garlean cuisine bespeaks their agricultural roots and cold climes, true.
The peoples we've met on our journey, they've all had different practices involving food and drink. The Hanu replenish their magical energies with reeds, while the Pelu have turned their fondness of beverages into... So basically, to know a people's cuisine is to...
With each feat, we have deepened our familiarity with a given community's history and culture. Is this what Father intended for us all along? But a leader with his vision must see that the past doesn't hold the answers we need. It is through embracing innovation, not adhering to tradition, that we will usher Tuli Yolal onto a... The rules are simple. The first team to prepare and partake of satisfactory Shibruk Bivir will be deemed victorious. You will be judged by your sample's taste and appearance, as well as your adherence to appropriate cooking techniques. Kitchens have been made available for your use. Note that you may be asked to retry should your dish fail to pass muster. Let the feat of repast begin.
I've never actually heard of Shibruk people before. It's a lighter one.
I was not expecting this to turn into an episode of Iron Chef.
No.
No.
How fortunate that this feat's unique stipulations have frustrated Bakul Jaja's attempts to delay us. Serves him right. That's what he gets for endangering my people with his schemes. doesn't he just compete fairly? He's plenty strong and obviously has a mind for strategy, twisted though it may be. I'll never understand him. Putting aside our competition for the moment, allow me to express how glad I am for this opportunity to work together. As I see it, our team possesses a distinct advantage. Of course we do. Any team I'm on is bound to succeed. Precisely. You mean we have an advantage in numbers, yes? Our competition has a team of 6. The 2 claimants, Sorel Ja and Bakul Jaja's lackeys, whereas we are a team of 9. That's 3 more people we can mobilize. With the task suitably delegated, it should be a brisk affair to learn the recipe and assemble necessary ingredients. Too easy. Well, we mustn't be overconfident, lest we make a careless mistake that could have been easily avoided. Our first order of business should be determining the recipe for Zebrak Pibil. We can hardly gather ingredients for a dish we know nothing about. Given the nature of this feat, asking for answers directly may prove less effective than simply observing the daily habits of the Sabral people. Let us gather here once we have seen what clues this village has to offer. Lookout point. That one's called Ichote. We mostly use it to add a bit of color to our most popular cuisine, but its medicinal benefits are significant as well. The recipe for Jibruk Pabil? Wish I could tell you, friend. A dish so delicious is meant to be shared. Alas, we are forbidden from divulging anything. Orders from Hunmuruk himself. But your mentioning it has given me a fierce craving. I only hope there's still a brook to be had at the market. We ought to cut our losses and head to Mamuk. This feat is nothing but a fool's errand. You're the fool if you think he won't tan our hides for leather if we dare to return without enough keystones. Besides, we've taken from the house cat before. How different could it be a second time? What are you looking at, salt liquor? Mind your own business.
I was just gonna say, it's like,
Oh yeah, Aetherite. An unusually colored banana peel has been neatly arranged on the ground, which appears to be smoking. Oh no! It appears I've gone and dropped my Najul. I mean, Jatika banana peel. I could barely see it for all the steam issuing from my underground oven. There's nothing like enjoying a tasty banana while you use the leaves in your cooking. Sorry, I'm back. What did we discover about Zebruk Pabil? True to your prediction, the villagers were forbidden from educating us directly. However, many were still preparing it as one might a staple dish. An observation of their techniques yielded clues enough. A lady blending local herbs and spices was only too happy to describe the ones I didn't recognize, while neither confirming nor denying any relation to Zebruk Pabil. But one in particular she attributed to all common Zabral dishes is achote, she called it. I see. Then if Zebruk Pabil is indeed a dish as ubiquitous as Alpha Note claims, we have confirmed our first ingredient. Meanwhile, I did observe a cook burying bundles wrapped in the leaf of Najul, or banana, in certain localities. It would seem that the use of subterranean ovens is commonplace. I saw the same. I think we all know what's inside those bundles then, don't we? Or don't you? The guy mentioned Ibruk, so I'm going with Ibruk. As would be expected of a dish called Zebruk Pabil, indeed. I didn't even notice that, but okay. So to summarize, the dish is one of Ibruk, flavored with a combination of spices that include achote, and steamed underground within Najul, or banana leaves. Given our assumptions are correct, we must now learn where and how to procure our ingredients. As a staple cuisine, its ingredients would be close at hand, which is why Thancred and I scouted the surrounding forests while you were all exploring the village. Between the local vegetation and wild Ibruk, we should have everything we need in regards to meat and spices. Leave it to the master gleaner. With that, we should next divvy up our tasks. While some gather ingredients, others should make ready the kitchen. I can help prepare the kitchen. Permit me to assist as well. Our ovens will doubtless require firewood, and I have some experience in its gathering. Alpha Node's skill at gathering firewood has kind of become a meme now, hasn't it?
Mm-hmm.
I too shall be glad to volunteer mine aid. Then the rest of us will gather ingredients. I can make quick work of the spices and herbs myself. I am happy to lead someone to a suitable Ibruk, if they will perform the requisite deed. Alize? As for the Najul leaves, I believe I am capable of acquiring that much of mine. Be warned, you won't find Najul in these parts. They only grow in the in the Jatika heartland, forest below these. Such an excursion may be time-consuming. Perhaps we ought to try bartering first? This feat encourages our communication with the locals, after all. Lamati, if you two would accompany me on my errand. No better way to whet my appetite. Good. Let us be about our tasks then. And I was about to point out, if they tried to put me in the kitchen, that my culinarian skill is level 10, so we don't want to mess. You don't want me in the kitchen.
Put KJ in charge. I think he's higher.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Only 91
Higher.
rank. Yeah.
Higher than 10.
Yeah.
And something tells me higher than Wuklamat and Koana.
Yeah, probably.
Come on, let's go and get those Najul leaves. The sooner we do, the sooner we can eat. There's a step between getting the ingredients and eating the ingredients, Wuklamat. It's called cooking. Koana has the look of a man intent on finding bananas. Let us see if there are Najul leaves to be had in town. Perhaps the cook Oriaje mentioned might be persuaded to spare us a few.
I like our new outfit, Zora.
Me too.
Huh? When did y'all
gotta-
change?
Just now, we just got a
Now.
chest.
Ah. Oh, I didn't even look in the chest. I almost certainly will not change, but I'll take a look at it anyway. Yeah, definitely not.
Oh, okay.
It don't have enough armor on it.
They made it so you can mod your gear without being in a city.
Ah, nice.
As long as it's on the plate. Apply
Yeah.
plate.
Oh, hello again. Did you need something? Najul leaves for purposes other than Zabrik to build, naturally. Unfortunately, I've just used up my last. You'll have to travel to the lower forests for more. Golmaji Grove is the source of the finest Najul leaves you'll find. Wild variants you sometimes see in city markets can't compare. I see. I'd hoped to avoid such a lengthy venture, but if there's no other way to obtain our ingredient, then to the Jatika Heartland we must go. Allow me to save you the trip. Traveling there requires you to go through the Kenbeck Traverse, but it is caved in due to the recent storm, I expect. What? But that means we can't get our Najul leaves. But we can, can't we? If there were no other way of procuring them, you would have suspended this feat, or else altered its objective. Perhaps. Anyway, I apologize for the interruption, but having overheard your conversation, I felt compelled to chime in. Very kind of you. Any last-minute advice you'd be willing to share? Only to undertake the feat of repast with an empty stomach. You may find Zabrik Pabil to be a delicious but daunting dish to finish. I can't wait. Still, if there are no leaves here, then we can't travel for more. How are we supposed to gather all our ingredients? These feats are meant to deepen our understanding of the peoples and cultures of Tulialal. So, perhaps there is something about Zabrik Pabil that we have yet to learn. Something of significance other than its recipe or ingredients. Oh, I see. Like, who was the first to make it, its history, that sort of thing. If it's Yaktel history you're interested in, you should start with the old war. Between the Zabrak and the Mamoja, right? These forests have borne witness to centuries of warfare, the evidence of which remains a scar upon the earth. To know the end of that bloodshed is to know Zabrik Pabil. Huh? What does steamed brook have to do with bloodshed? Precisely the question we must answer. Vexing though such a detour may seem, I can think of no other way to approach this feat. In that case, you may wish to visit the site of a settlement ruined by the war. The village of Ilianayosh. Ilianaso. It lies a short distance to the east. The village of Ilianaso. Understood. Thank you for your help. Come, let's go see this place.
There might be tacos. Because they can't get the bananas to wrap it up. No, I made that comment that it's got to be tacos because of how much he loves tacos and stuff. But then when I heard, oh, you got to wrap it up in the banana peel or whatever, or the banana leaves or whatever, I was like, oh, well, there goes that whole idea.
Trying to remember dishes I know of that involve wrapping in banana leaves. Aren't tamales traditionally made that way?
Yeah, they are.
Corn husk, I thought. The corn.
Oh yeah, corn husks. The village of Ilianasho must be further east. Let us continue with haste. For all we know, our competitors may be on our heels. Yeah, that would not be a nice hole to fall in.
Oh, yeah, no. Aether curtain to the left.
This is the village of Ilianasto, or what's left of it. A place of light and life. My grandfather called it home, in fact. It's Wukevu again. Wukevu, I didn't know you were in Yaktel. I was picking up lumber from Ikbarax when I heard that the third promise was on her way to the site of this site of deep historical significance. I immediately saw another opportunity to be of service, and so I followed you here. Wukevu is a shipwright who came to our aid during the Feat of Reeds. A pleasure. You were a member of the Third Promise's retinue, I presume? For the moment, I suppose I am. My name is Kwana. Pleased to make your acquaintance. Kwana? That's a good name. A familiar name. Where have I heard? Kwana? As in the second promise of Tolual? To think that I addressed the Dawn Servant's own son as some common retainer. Such disrespect cannot be excused. Please, take up your gun and... Oh, come on, not this again. I take no offense, so please do not dwell on it. Alright, then I shan't dwell on it. And right on cue. At least he's consistent. I understand you wish to learn about Zebruk Pabil. While I am forbidden by the Zabrak Rax to divulge any information regarding its preparation, I would be happy to share with you what I know of Yaktel's history. We'd appreciate that. In its most basic sense, the conflict between the Zabral and Mamuljah was one of land. The Mamuljah live in the lower forest, where the thick canopy obscures the sun and soil's unforgiving to crops. This drove them to covet the upper forest, the home of the Zabral, and they launched a determined campaign to seize it for themselves. Yet advantage ever favors higher ground, and the Zabral forces held the upper hand against the invaders, rebuffing them time and again. But as the state of this village would attest, the tide eventually turned. What brought it about? Something you know all too well. Blessed siblings. You must understand, the Mamuljah were once a people as much at war with themselves as they were with others. The Hobigo, Banewa, and Dupro each sought to assert dominance over the others, even as they engaged the Zabral in battle. In an effort to strengthen bonds and discourage infighting, Hobigo and Banewa leaders arranged a marriage between their children. However, this political measure altered the course of history in ways no one could have ever imagined. It was long believed that partners of different clans could not have children together. But then it happened. A child arrived who carried the blood of Hobigo and Banewa both, a two-headed Mamuljah. Blessed with tremendous physical strength and magical prowess, he grew into a mighty warrior before eventually arising as the first Autarch, ruler of all three clans. Such qualities would dispose anyone to leadership, character notwithstanding. Under the Autarch's rule, the newly united Mamalja became a force to be feared, and the war soon came to a head. I think it best you see the results firsthand. Let us visit another battlefield from that time, and there I shall continue my tale. Just an interesting little tidbit. Wuklamat just commented on what happened here, but Kawana's response was, by the 12. Which, I have no evidence of the 12 being worshipped in Tural so far. So he's picked up more things from Charlian.
Mm-hmm.
This is where most battles were fought between the Shabral and Mamulja, the Shobrit Cinderfield.
A field of cinders, indeed. How fierce their clashes must have been.
The war over these lands began after the Yoqui's departure some 500 years ago. And for 4 centuries thereafter, the two enemies repaid violence with violence, a constant stream of minor skirmishes punctuated by massive slaughter.
Until Father ended their endless conflict 80 years ago.
Accompanied by a retinue of only 6, the Dawn Servant opposed both armies and brought the fighting to a standstill.
First they sealed Bali Armanda at full strength, and now this.
It was during this armistice that both sides gathered for negotiations at the Dawn Servant's behest.
For too long, you have been bound by your ancestors' violent legacy. It is past time you broke free of it.
Tell that to the Scale Scum! We fight to protect what is rightfully ours. If not for their greed, we'd be living in peace.
Puff your tails and scurry off, then! Cowards like you ill deserve the bounty of this forest. Even should one of you succeed in vanquishing the other, your triumph will last only until a new invader arrives. Tell me, do you know of the vast continent that lies far to the east, where numerous nations vie for dominance? You do not. And why should you? Affairs beyond the salt we have no intention to cross are of no consequence to us. Not until those affairs come to Tural, like our honored visitor here.
He's from across the ocean.
I've been to the ocean before, and it's nothing but water farther than the eye can see. What sort of vessel could possibly reach its end? That such technology exists is indisputable, as is foreign powers' awareness of Tural. If any such country were to develop a taste for Turali soil and bring to bear the might of innovations we can only imagine, what do you suppose happens then? You do not know the warlords of the East, but you know that if they came, they would not settle for a single forest. By joining hands, we might create a unified front, an alliance capable of repelling them or any other foe. There is no greater proof of these than my companions and I. Alone we are weak, but together we triumphed over Valigarmanda.
What? You defeated the Sky Ruin? I'd take you for a liar if the sting of our own defeat wasn't still fresh.
Their coordination was indeed impressive. How the Pelu stymied our efforts to cripple the Yokui's legs and defend our ballistas. And when we withdrew to strike again from a distance, the Hanu called the winds to make our arrows miss their marks. In seeking to exploit their weaknesses, we only subjected ourselves to their strengths.
Those strengths are born of cooperation. The guiding principle of the nation we envision.
But our feud has lasted for centuries. How do you expect us to join hands now?
Ha ha! Give us an evening to convince you.
And so began that legendary banquet. One would not expect sworn enemies to abruptly drink to each other's health, and, indeed, a tense silence hung over the venue. But then, the dawn servant called for the exchange of traditional cuisine. So it was that the Mamulja partook of spiced meat, and the Chebral steamed Najul. Before long, delight manifested upon the faces of those present, each side impressed by the other's dish. Seeing this, the dawn servant laughed and declared once more, their flavors, he said, would be even better combined, and he proceeded to help them prepare the new creation.
That's Shibruk Pibilat.
It is a marriage of Chebral and Mamulja cultures, and proof of their newfound cooperation. The dawn servant had asked for a single evening, but the feasting is said to have lasted 3 days and 3 nights. So delicious was their repast. In the end, a peace accord was reached, and the dawn servant's words at that time still illuminate our way forward.
Ignorance begets a strife. Understanding begets fellowship.
Sorry. It's just to think that he ended an age-old conflict with food. It's all so absurd. It's somehow so very papa, I couldn't help.
Ignorance begets strife.
Now then, I trust you understand the significance of Shibruk Pibil and the history it has written.
Absolutely. Thank you for sharing the story with us. What's wrong? Someone was there, you say?
Perhaps our competition is cooking up some scheme or another.
Something bitter and...
Or he was. It looks like he's out now. I do wonder who was watching us, though. It had to be somebody who was there. Papa really did live up to his words. He traveled the land and learned about our people's myriad cultures. And we're doing the same now. A mystery box. Oh, that was the vest. Pants aren't bad.
No, no, they're not bad.
Wukevu has given us valuable insight into the origins of Sabrika and Bibil. However, we are still no closer to procuring the necessary Najul leaves. Unless... Tell me, was that historic feast commemorated in some fashion? With a monument, for instance? Indeed it was. Allow me to show you. Just a moment, my bags are full. I'm just moving some stuff around.
Sorry, this is just my pants. My legs and stuff.
Well, I said I wasn't going to change what my gear looks like, but apparently that gear is better than what I have. So I will be wearing that for now. There it is. Offered up by the two factions, these weapons symbolize their vow that they would never again raise arms against each other. As this feat demands a journey through history, I thought it only logical that a monument like this might steer us true, especially one at the heart of so significant a battlefield. Lama T, would you help me search this area for clues? Tell me if anything catches your eye. Sure thing. Look here. The soil has been recently overturned. Oh, someone buried a box. Well, well. I would have been satisfied to find only a hint, but here they are, fresh Najul leaves. What Muruk's doing, I'd wager. There's a poetry in hiding them on this battlefield, given that it was central to the war they helped end. So he planned all this from the start. Thank you again, Wukebu. We wouldn't have found these leaves without your help. It was my honor to render assistance. And with apologies to present company, allow me to offer my encouragement as well, Third Promise. Ever since I witnessed your performance in the Feat of Reeds, I have been certain that you are the claimant most worthy of leading our nation. All devised solutions to the Hanu Hanu's ailing crops, but you alone sought to know their culture and revive Ihihana, even if it seemed unrelated to your task. In my humble opinion, no one cares more for the people of Tuliyollal and to what they hold dear. Should you again require historical musings of an old shipwright, I am ever at your service. For now, I take my leave. I cannot argue with that. We have what we need. Let us return to Ikbarax.
We didn't see anything to clicky on. No lookouts or anything else.
Right here.
Nah, and that's further in, though.
Oh, gotcha.
Damn it. No, close enough. And that was actually an accidental riding off a cliff. I may have had a screen open. Glad we were successful. The others should be back soon, I expect. Hope so. I'm famished. How did everyone fare? We got the Najul leaves. Wukevu came along and helped us find them. Wukevu was here? I would have liked to say hello. Yes, he gave us an important history lesson. That Galul Jaja brought an end to the centuries of warfare surprises me little, but to achieve said peace through cuisine is something else entirely. Leave it to my old man to find the oddest of solutions. But how about the rest of you? Is our kitchen ready? Everything should be in order. Oriange and I made another tour of the village and borrowed the cooking utensils we need, with no mention of what we needed them for, of course. And I am pleased to report that we are stocked with the finest firewood this forest has had to offer. Spoken like a true expert. Aaronville and I found our brook, so we have meat aplenty. It was a spirited creature, so much so that its hunter fell down a cenote trying to catch it. What part of never speak of this to anyone did you not understand?
Oh, LSA.
I picked a good portion of local herbs, with particular attention to the seeds that yield achote. I'm told our resident astrologian can divine the appropriate measurements for the seasoning as well. Aye, though further inquiry did I determine the ideal balance of spices. And all that remains is to prepare the dish itself. I presume that at least one among us is versed in the culinary arts. I can hardly claim profound skill, but I have cooked for myself. You can leave the rest to me. And you, I hope. I could use your adventurer's grit when it comes to skinning the Abrook. Ooh, my mouth's watering already. Suddenly, the music stopped. Now, without further delay, then.
Oh, it smells so good.
Good, there is still time. I shall prepare our sample at once.
At first, I wasn't sure about being stuck with the one head. But better that than playing nanny to the mewling house cat.
Be quiet, Bakul Jaja. No one cares what you think.
Huh. Act tough all you like. Victory will be ours.
It's ready. Apologies for the wait. We submit to you our Shibruk Pibil.
This looks amazing!
The dish is prepared by using the culinary techniques of the Mamulja to cook the spiced meats favored by the Jabra. It is a symbol of peace between their two peoples after centuries of war.
Both the ingredients and your methods appear to have been correct. Now then.
Tiny, tiny taco.
In taste, texture, and aroma, you have recreated Shibruk Bibil admirably. Granted, anyone might well achieve similar results by following the recipe to the letter. But you went a step further. You sought to learn the cultural significance of the dish, about Yoktel's history of violence and your father's role in ending it. Your willingness to take lessons from the past befits aspiring Dawn servants. And for that, I commend you. All that remains is to partake of your creation. True understanding is gained only through experience.
Now this is something I'm definitely good at.
Ahem. I believe we have yet to receive our assessment. Ours is also a faithful example of Shibruk Pibil, as you will no doubt agree.
I see. While your effort looks the part, unlike the second and third promises dish, it lacks its defining aroma.
Preposterous! The meat was marinated in spice before being steamed in an earthen oven. This is...
Oh? And what about the Jatika banana leaf?
It's because of you that we couldn't get any damn leaves! You can't fault us!
But the second and third promises had no such difficulty, did they? That which they needed they acquired simply by showing interest in our history and...
Ugh, it's just some crusty old leaf. What difference could it make?
Your dish lacks an essential ingredient. As you have failed to demonstrate an adequate understanding of Shibruk Pibil, I must deem your performance unsatisfactory. Your team will not receive Keystone.
This was stupid anyway.
His ambition only grows more intense. That someone could harbor such dark thoughts towards family.
What do I care for this sham of a feat? I can always take what I need later.
This is delicious! The brook is so tender it melts in your mouth, and the way the najou leaf rounds out these spices is sublime. This is the taste of harmony. Someone who only knows brute force and deception could never appreciate it.
Choke on your harmony.
Come. Finish your meal. That too is part of the feat.
You don't have to tell me twice. Ah, that was bliss.
It was palatable enough, I suppose. To you, who have successfully performed the feat of repast, I present these keystones.
Only 1 feet left.
Well, I should get going then. I'm glad that I wasn't paired with one of the others.
We can do better than that, surely.
The 6th keystone is ours. Thanks for all your help, I forgot something important. Was there any Shibruk people left? I could read.
But yes, I agree, KJ. Wu Clamont finally got her tacos.
Well, and then when what's his name is holding them, they're so tiny. I was like, oh, those look like street tacos.
Well, do remember, Kryle made it. You couldn't expect Kryle to make tacos that big, so.
Yeah.
That was so good. I'm already looking forward to having Shabrik Pabil again. Here, Kryle made more using leftover ingredients. You'll love it. I'm thinking to buy more for the road myself. Now that the feat of repast is over, the villagers should be free to offer it to us, right? A lot of stat bonuses on that.
Mm-hmm.
Seeing as we now face the penultimate objective of the rite, it would be wise to travel to Mamuk and undertake the feat of the Brotherhood without delay. Wise, yes, but impossible. The Tinbek Traverse, which connects the upper forest to the Jatika heartland, is still impassable. Is there no other route? I'm afraid not. Work to clear the path is underway, though, so I'm hopeful we can resume our journey soon. Then let us each use this time as we see fit. I, for one, would like to explore the village's surrounds, if Erenville would oblige me with a tour. Very well, I have no other engagements. But I'll come with you, if only to prove that I am capable of keeping my footing. Though I should rejoice in our delay, I shouldn't rejoice in our delay. It does afford me an opportunity to look into my grandfather's purported visit to Yaktel. Oh, that's right. Mablu said something about a foreign mage coming through here decades back, didn't she? I'll come with you. Want to join us? Let us reconvene here after our respective diversions. To recall, the merchant met my grandfather at a market in Yaktel some 20 years ago. Any who might reliably remember him must therefore be at least middle-aged. Let us make inquiries where we can.
No.
I have also taken note that there have been no mention of the bunnies, but there was definitely a bunny in the group with
Yeah.
So
There was a female one on his right.
Which I'm guessing is probably Erenville's teacher, if I had to guess. A foreign mage. 20 years ago? Yeah, I remember him. Not often we get visitors from across the salt, let alone those traveling with infants. A baby girl, as I recall. I only saw in passing mind. If anybody were to know more, I'd wager it would be Hunmuruk. He was already Zabrakrax then. A baby girl. Couldn't have been. Thank you, sir. The information is very helpful.
Was it a really tiny baby girl?
I fell in a hole. I actually thought this was the direction I was supposed to go, but no, it was not.
I thought maybe you saw Sparkle down there. Let's go.
Nope, that was very much I saw the pointer pointing in that direction and thought that was a lower part of the city. So I just jumped in. Hello again. You require assistance? A foreign mage passed through Ikbrox around 20 years ago, possibly carrying a young child. Do you remember him? Why do you ask me this? Who is this man to you? He may have been my grandfather. I wish to know what brought him here. Your grandfather? Not by blood, but he is family nonetheless. A foreign mage did indeed visit Ikbrox, Master Galuf. So far as his identity is concerned, I trust you are satisfied. More than that, however, I cannot say. Why not? I simply cannot. I beg your forgiveness and understanding. Very well. I will not press. Thank you for confirming his presence here. The rest I will discover myself. Out of more general curiosity, I have another question. They say the Yaqui once dwelled in these forests. Where was that exactly? General curiosity indeed. But yes, before they withdrew to Orkopacha some 5 centuries ago, the Yaqui claimed Yachtel as their own. Many of their architectural remains can be found in the lower forests, the Jotika heartland. That's where that's when they must have had their visions. Thank you. That answers much and more. I understand what it means to long for one's family, so believe me when I say that, though my position forbids me from aiding you further, I wish you nothing but success. By helping the third promise find the Golden City, you will surely find the answers to your questions. Speaking of which, I have a query of my own for you. May I request a moment of your company? Go on, we'll wait for you. Thank you for obliging me. First, let us head to the cenote behind this village.
Is he gonna push us in?
I have been suspecting for more than a while that he might be Wuklamat's father.
Oh.
The fact that he has a child from each of the tribes, I wonder if she was offered as some kind of linkage to the Dawn Serpent or something.
Hmm.
In more real world as a hostage, but I don't feel like the Dawn Servant needed that at any point, so I'm not sure if it's actually going to go in that kind of direction.
Are you talking about the weddings? No.
No,
Sequences,
more
wedding
you have an
rituals,
unruly nobleman, so you invite his son to live with you. Therefore,
Yeah.
unruly nobleman does not be unruly because you have his son in your possession. So,
This is a different thing.
it was my intention to see you off without saying anything, but Mistress Kryle's plea has softened my resolve. As the leader of our community, I'm gladdened to see the Third Promise has surrounded herself with such compassionate and trustworthy companions. Would you tell me of her journey thus far? That's so. Seems the rite has been a source of great learning and growth for Wuklamat. It does me well to hear that. My daughter would be about her age. Girls are rarely born among the Zabral, so when she arrived, the village was elated. Such joy I felt when I first held her, and pain when I found her at the bottom of a cenote. 3 years old. An accident, it was said, but I knew better. She had been pushed. Though we never caught them, a suspicious figure was seen fleeing towards the Jatika heartland, toward Mamuk. Once bitter enemies, the Mamulja and the Jabral had learned to live in peace. But who could doubt the intent of such a reprehensible act? By targeting the child who would one day lead her people, the criminal sought to undermine the future of the Zabral. I was determined not to let them succeed, and so I let the memory of my daughter die in that cenote, and gave her into the care of the one person I knew who could protect her. Dawn servant Gulul Jaja. Though she was born to lead the Zabral, fate had a greater plan for Wuklamat. Only the Dawn servant and I know the truth, but I must now take you into my confidence for one reason. If the villain who attempted to murder my daughter was indeed of Marmuk, then rancor toward the Jabral still burns. I was caught off guard once. I will not suffer the same tragedy again. And so I ask you, not as the Dawn Servant's elector, but as a father, to watch over the Third Promise, defend her from her enemies that may be lurking in shadow. Will you do this for me? Thank you, from the bottom of my heart. Will you hear my question and answer me plainly? Address me not as the ruler of Tuliolal, but as a concerned father. Suffice it to say, this conversation must remain between us. Pray breathe not a word of this to anyone. Recalling the past has rendered me emotional. I require a moment to compose myself, but please, do not keep the third promise waiting. Yes, we did very nearly end up in the bottom of the pool again. Uh-oh. That's the light of a individual duty there.
Mm-hmm.
Wait, where did I lose KJ?
You you buy the leather from that gem guy back there, and I did not know that. We're not able to come here, but I spent quite a bit of gil on the auction house or whatever.
Ah.
Buy that. I mean, I gotta make it still, but now I've got the leather. So, yeah, the leather to do it, or hide.
Gotcha. Upon speaking with Wuklamot, several cutscenes will play in sequence. It is recommended that you set aside sufficient time to view these scenes in their entirety. Do we want to do this tonight?
Well, the further the story on, don't we need to do it, or?
Well, yeah. Just I have no idea how long this is going to take. That's why I ask.
I don't know. If I remember from what I saw, we play as her, Wuklamot, a warrior, whatever.
Well, nobody said no, so I'm pushing the button.
Yeah, me too.
You're back. So what did Hulmanuruk want? That's all right. You don't have to say. More importantly, the Tinbeck Traverse still isn't clear yet. Something about even more rocks. Then I think I'll take the opportunity to rest. All that cooking and preparing has worn me out. A nap does sound tempting. A moment promise. You're one of Bakul Jaja's. What do you want? I've come to fetch you. You're welcome to refuse, but know that it would be most unwise. And why is that? I'm sure your salted friend has an idea. What do you think? And they say house cats don't come when called. Follow me, promise. Oh, they've probably captured Erenvol and the others. That's it. I'm never letting them out of my sight again.
What is the meaning of this? And just how far do you plan on taking us?
Oh, worse than that.
Oh, Morok! Vakuljaja, you snake! If you want my keystone so badly, you'll deal with me and me alone. Leave the Elector out of this.
Is that all you think he is? Foolish kitty! This man is the reason we are here. Take a good look at him. Go on. Look.
Don't believe us? Then ask your trusted Sellsworth. He heard it straight from the old man's mouth.
Is it true? Is... Your silence says it all.
Now that you understand the situation, let's see those keystones. I'll even let you fight for them. Just you. If that adventurer attempts to interfere, I'll kill the old man!
You despicable, heartless fiend! Kinsman or no, I won't stand for you taking hostages! Come on then! You wanna fight? I'll give you a fight!
Oh, such heroic caterwauling promise. Guard our hostage well. We wouldn't want to attempt any thoughts of rest. By the by, housecat, they've been instructed to put down Papa Dearest when you lose. Hopefully he settled his affair.
Don't worry. I'm not losing to the likes of him. Well, what are you waiting for, you blessed bastards? It's 2 against 1. Don't tell me you're scared.
I know I didn't hear you right.
Don't worry, the scary adventurer won't try anything funny.
Foreign scum! Who are you to mock me? I'll kill you, kill you all! Don't look away, son. I want you to watch as I tear your beloved promise to shreds!
Hey, eyes on me. The house cat. I'll say it again. I'm not losing to the likes of... I'm going to become Dawn's servant, and I will protect my people!
Come, you mangy housecut, so I can rip you to pieces. I'll cut you to shreds! My magic should be more than enough for Miss Mittens. I'll make you eat dirt!
No more tricks, Bakul Chaja. We're settling this here and now.
Still playing the part of the brave warrior? Miss Mittens is no longer amusing me, brother.
This rite has taught me so much. About my nation, my people, and myself.
What? Can't keep up?
How do you like this? Here, kitty, 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 kitty.
I finally understand what it means to live in peace. To greet each day in safety and happiness.
Irritating pest! It's time we finished her, brother. This is the end for you, kitten. Know your place!
It's not enough to claim the title of Dawn's servant. I must carry on Papa's legacy, his love for our people.
I'll grind you beneath my heel! Flea-ridden upstart! Why won't you die? Fine! I'll show you the true power of the Blessed!
I will be the next Dawn servant, and I'll protect my people's happiness to the last! That's why there's no way I'll ever lose to the likes of you!
What? But that was everything I had! I can't stand it anymore! Attack! This is our fight! Stay out of it! You bring shame upon us! You think we care about your stupid pride? This is for Mamuk! We cannot lose!
Oh, the great Bakul Jaja needs help, I see. Send your whole army. You still won't win. I will prove that my allies are right to believe in me.
Such confidence! Changed. She wasn't like this before!
Well, that wasn't too bad.
I reclaim what you stole.
No. How could that puny house cat be the...
You've caused nothing but trouble with your dirty threatening the Hanuhanu, releasing Valyarmanda. Harassing me is one thing, but you've endangered too many innocents. No more, Bakul Jaja. I will not stand for it. If you even think of tormenting my people again, you will.
No. No.
And he goes and forgets he had the way blocked.
What? That was his...
The only part left in the saga is the Lay of the Brotherhood in Mamuk. The plan was to force you here so we could take the rest of your keystones.
So that's what he was up to. But...
What does it matter? You've beaten us. It's over. We'll release the...
I have no idea what that image meant.
I'm sorry.
Are you all right? So what Bakul Jaja said about you and me...
But to single-handedly defeat Bakul Jaja, It has been my honor to bear witness to your journey. Promise.
Promise. Yes. That's what I am. I'm Gulul Jaja's daughter. Come on.
I'm still in the fight.
Ah.
I got him down 25%, and I'm like, are you kidding me?
I basically just spammed button number 1 because it has a heal on it, and used my green button whenever it was off cooldown.
Yeah, well, that's what I was doing, but I keep on slipping off of one, so I think I'm just gonna punch number 1.
Yeah, the when the ads show up, button number 2 is an AOE, even if it doesn't say it. So that will help with the ads when they show up.
Wait, which ad?
There will be ads. Lots of them.
After 25. Okay. All I keep hitting or getting are damn totems. I'm like, oh, die, you son of a gun.
If you did not notice, the green ones have a safe zone in the middle.
Oh, I did not notice.
So basically just stand on one of the green ones. If he decides to try to knock you back, just make sure it points you toward one of the green ones.
Gotcha.
All right, guys, I think I am going to call it here for the night, and I will see y'all sometime later this week. So until then, I want to thank y'all for joining me. Hope y'all enjoyed it. I'll see y'all next time. Have a good night.